Elon Musk wants to kill Social Security, and every day it seems like he takes yet another step towards accomplishing that goal. They have been firing people in charge of it. They have been laying the rhetorical groundwork for people to be okay with massive cuts, and they are planning those cuts. But this, while less of a severe threat to the program itself, is almost more insulting and frustrating to the millions of Americans that are relying on it already. See, the Social Security Administration is now going to be making it much harder for Americans to actually make claims on Social Security. They announced these new measures where millions of Americans who file for benefits by phone will now have to verify their identity using an online system or provide documentation in person at a Social Security office. You know, those fun days you spend going to Social Security offices and getting your paperwork in line. They want to do more of that. Now, why are they doing this? Well, they're doing this in part because DOGE has already cut 7,000 jobs in Social Security. And so the normal way they do things probably is untenable because all the employees who make the system work have already been canned. They've consolidated programs. They've also closed dozens of regional and local offices. And if there's anything that could make the new requirement that you might have to go to an office with paperwork worse, it's to find out that there are way fewer of those actual offices to go to. So you might have to also make a long drive before carting yourself over there and doing that. And so all of this is bad, but it's particularly bad when you remember that most of the people doing these claims are elderly, and the elderly typically, not all of them, but some have trouble with online identity verification, these sorts of systems, which they're now gonna have to do much more of. And so millions of elderly and disabled customers that the agency serves, they already lack computers to do the online verification. They might have limited mobility to actually go in office, but they're gonna have to do that to get the money that they literally rely on. And so we have more, we'll talk more about this and why the right, why DOGE is pushing for this and how many people it's gonna hurt. But this is like the last thing these people need, Sharon. And it just seems like every day Elon Musk, again, richest man in the world, is waking up with new ways to make it harder for people who have the least. What do you think?
Yeah, he's a real year-round Grinch who's doing this stuff to hurt people, and he's just so giddy about it. He's super excited. He's not pumping the brakes, and Donald Trump doesn't care. I believe people go in his office and say, "Okay, here's what," and he said, "I don't want to hear it. Stop tattletaling." Okay, I personally had to deal with the Social Security Administration on behalf of my late mother. And it already is very difficult to get appointments, get things done, get the things that are required, especially if somebody has, some cognitive issues. Why are you doing this? Making people go away, requiring in-person appointments. You don't have the staff, like 75,000 a week. It would like, it's crazy. And so are they, but it's as intended. I will say that it's not so willy-nilly. It's as intended. I'm gonna make you hurt.
Yeah, he doesn't want it to work. I guess maybe he thinks that if it stops working, then people will be like, okay, I guess we'll do something else instead. Even though it will only not be working because they decided to kill it. And hey, what do you know? The richest man in the world, who again doesn't need these programs, and everyone he talks to, all of his buddies, they don't need the money from Social Security. They have billions of dollars. What do you know? They don't care if the program actually dies. But to be clear, the reason for this particular change is again based in the nonsense that Elon Musk has been spreading. So Leland Dudek is the acting commissioner for Social Security right now. And he held a call with reporters just yesterday and said the tighter requirements to identity proof the claims are essential to fighting fraud. So your 88-year-old grandma needs to, I don't know, do two-factor authentication and use a QR code because of fraud. And hey, maybe she never gets her money because she can't figure it out or whatever. Or maybe she has to drive somewhere if she even can do that. But it's okay because of fraud, which is not really a thing. It's not. It's a thing that Elon Musk has been talking about a lot. Again, every cut that they make, every mass firing, all of that is going to be excused away as necessary to fight fraud. Because of course it's going to be. They're never just gonna say, we don't like these programs, we're gonna kill them. They have to put some sort of veneer on it, and waste, fraud, and abuse are the veneer. But we already know that it's just not that common. So there was a report back in July of 2024, and from 2015 to 2022, the agency paid out almost $8.6 trillion in benefits. Less than 1% were in improper payments. Most of the erroneous payments were overpayments to living people, which is not even really the sort of fraud that Elon Musk is focusing on. He's focusing on the idea that there are the walking dead that are receiving these payments. So there's basically no evidence of that. Even if that was a small part of this, that is an amazingly low amount of fraud. So to fix that non-problem that they've invented, they're going to potentially lead to hundreds of thousands, millions of people having issues getting the benefits that they rely on. This makes no sense if you care about this program or if you care about these people. But thankfully, from Elon Musk's perspective, he doesn't. And so it doesn't matter if this does all the damage that we're speculating about. Any other thoughts about this, Sharon?
No, just that you nailed it again. It's not going to go away. People are going to take to the streets. You take away what little they have, they're going to take to the streets and be on the streets. So in a way, I don't want people to hurt in this manner because it's just too much. This is all some people have. But the other part of me says, well, we're going to be hurting anyway. So maybe this will help affect the change that has been so needed over the last 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, look, the issue is that in this particular case, it's like, it's elderly retired people who are going to be doing the hurting. Like, also, just I would say strategically, politically, you know, like the one thing that ties all of the people that are going to be affected by this together, other than the fact that they need their Social Security money, it's that they vote at very high rates. And so if the Democrats can message, which they probably can't, I think it'd be a pretty strong message that like, hey, you know, like everything in life sucks, but at least you got your Social Security check. Well, now everything sucks and it sucks worse than it used to, but also you don't get Social Security anymore. And it's because of those a-holes who are rich to boot. That's the kind of thing that could be bad for you in the next election. But again, it relies on the Democrats to actually message around this and get people as justly fired up to stop Elon Musk and Donald Trump as they should be. I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to do that. Although if Bernie Sanders is coming to your area, go to one of his rallies and I'm sure he'll be talking about this quite a bit. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.